We had to wait outside for a little bit. We were fully prepared and ready to go on time. But, my trying to be on time as of late has been a little struggle bus, okay? So I'm going to wait and give people a little bit of second to join in here because I know we're late. Let me check everything and make sure that we are actually streaming properly because, technical difficulties be happening. And I still have so much to do today. Why did I open Instagram? See, look. We're not streaming to Instagram. We're streaming to Facebook. Okay. There we is. Oh, yay. Somebody just got their copy of Heavy in the mail. Exciting. Okay. The YouTube folks is here. Waiting for the Facebook folks to join in. Apologies. Maybe I should send an email. Tag, I don't have MailChimp on my phone. This is what happens when you're late because people log off after 5 minutes. Like, girl, we're not waiting for you. I get it. It's okay. It's okay. I tried, but as I said earlier, the fire alarm to make sure my ends is looking cute and she looking at my own reflection. Okay, so we are going to have a finale. It's going to be calm. It's going to be chill. It's going to be great because we are discussing Such a Fun Age, the finale discussion. So we've had, well, I mean to say we're discussing the second half of the book. So I did part 1, and I think we did the first 4 parts of the book. And then we had that very brief author chat with Kiley Reid, which was great. And I hope you guys go back and watch it. It's up in the Facebook group and on our YouTube channel. And we really appreciate Kiley Reid coming into the book club. She's actually our first fiction author. We've read 2 essay books, and then Toni Morrison and Ya Jessie. So obviously Toni Morrison's no longer with us. Then there's Ya Jessie, who's a bit of a recluse. And Kiley was the first one to come in and sit down with us to discuss Such a Fun Age. So while I'm waiting for people to get into the club, I do want to say we've been sending out newsletters. A lot of y'all ain't reading, please open them newsletters. We got to pay to send them to everybody. But more importantly, we're doing a donation drive because we really want to bring more robust offering of a political education to our community and do a high value production video project around all these books that people are encouraging people to read, but that are really dense academic social theory books. We want to bring them to you in a format that's easier to digest, and we want to pay everyone an equitable rate, the researchers, the script writers, the editors, the graphic designers, all that. So we're trying to raise $60,000 for the book club. So it's not so much about you, the book club members, donating. It's about y'all spreading the word to y'all community and getting the broader network to, feed into and give a tangible donation to the book club. We've, definitely, get the white women's to open their purse. If people cannot be out here raising $500,000 to teach white folks how to unlearn racism, y'all can come help us just give a broader education behind the praxis and the labor that has to go into liberation. All right? Okay? That's what we're doing here. All right. I left my iPad out in the living room. So I'm going to pull up Such a Fun Age on my phone. Okay, here we go. We have it. And let's just get into this because what we are really here for, what this is really about, is to discuss that god-awful Thanksgiving dinner. It was a mess. It was a hot mess. And my first question, before I get into the questions from the syllabus, is who was the worst at the Thanksgiving dinner? A for Alex, B for, let's just say their name. Alex, Kelly, or Tamra. And yes, I listened to the audiobook and I still mispronounce everyone's names because I have too many things going on at once. So it's Tamra, right? Not Tamara. Tamra. When Tamra reached for Amyra's hair, who was the worst? Oh, there are only 4 parts. Why did I think for some reason there were 8 parts of this book? I'm bugging. There are 4. So we did the first 2. We did part 1 and part 2. So part 3. Okay. A lot of y'all are saying that Kelly was the worst. I think I think what's interesting about the book is that at the point of the Thanksgiving dinner, Alex doesn't really seem like a bad person, right? Alex seems justified in her reaction. You kind of want to be you still see something in her as like some sort of nobility in her, I guess. I don't know, is that the right word? And Kelly seems to be entirely out of pocket. Now, Tamra, though, just throws us for a whole loop because the entire sequence of one putting the battery in Alexa's back to the way her children, like this, like, also sort of this like stern performative motherhood feeling, to the way she talks down to Amyra. And I really, for me, at the point of the Thanksgiving dinner, before completing the whole book, Tamra was absolutely the worst person, right? The worst person. At this point, Alex, or Alec, does still seem like there's something redeemable about her, right? I personally would totally take her up on the offer of if she wants to sew into me, but I have ambition. And that's not to shade Amyra, because one of the things we did talk about with Kiley Reid was we greatly appreciate about allowing the main character to be regular, to be a person who has a very, is simple fair, who has, I don't know, because I still think living in this world as a black woman is complex, it's complicated. So just, the fact that she's living and thriving means it's complex. But I think by societal standards that she does have simple ambitions in life. And that I could still appreciate and see value in her. And the book did because the ending of the book, I was definitely like, oh girl. And I had to challenge myself. Like, if Amyra is happy, what's wrong with her trajectory? But at the point of the Thanksgiving dinner, I definitely felt like Kelly, Tamra, was out of pocket. And I did feel like Kelly was also out of pocket. Like, Kelly overreacted, got a little drunk, did too much. Oh, and the drunk white homegirl? Oh, that whole Thanksgiving dinner was just a mess. I want someone, let me see. You know what? Because this would be way more fun if people chime in. We could we could keep this real messy. I know people hate when I do this on YouTube, on my channel. We could do a Skype thing where y'all can call in on Skype. But I also think there's a link that I can give y'all from Restream. And I told y'all to be ready this time. So I hope y'all hoes is ready. Because I need some folks to call in. Because I just would like to have a key. Ooh, I hope I'm still streaming the same way and it didn't change my camera over. Yikes. Let me see. But I want folks to chime in. So I'm going to add this. Okay, well, Tanisha not ready. But I'm gonna add a link. So the Facebook user is saying, I think it's important not to judge people for being content. However, there was definitely times when, isn't it spelled with the E though? Amyra had issues with her work-life financial situation. Oh, I mean, in the book though, I think she had, within the context of Such a Fun Age though, I think she had very realistic, for turning 26, issues with deciding where she wanted to go and deciding based on the friends she had how much, like, who does she want to be. I didn't get the sense that where we were at with Amyra at the beginning of the book was that she had a sense of self. And I think she was trying to come into that, and she was challenged because of Shawnee's wealth and Josepha's, academic trajectory, and then still desiring to just not have to worry about her career, desiring to want to work for other people. And, kind of seeing all these other messaging that's saying, that's not quite right, and trying to decide for herself if that's what she was going to stick to. I mean, if you in a bonnet, you in a bonnet. But I told y'all, yeah, somebody gonna have to call in, because I just can't be here. Like, it's a key. Like, let's talk about it. But I can also open up my Skype, and if someone wants to call in, uh, they can do that. Dag, even I show up as Facebook user. Okay, hold on. You're gonna hear me. Oh no. Oh, my laptop's quiet actually, because I have music. Ugh, I'm not signed in. This is so complicated to add on YouTube. Yeah, so let's ask a question from the syllabus. So for part 3, Alexa's generosity seems to be a hidden opportunity for her to further intrude into the life of her nanny. How does Alexa's nature reflect contemporary critiques of white feminism? That's a very good question. That's not Gmail. Okay. Oh, man. Let's see if anybody joins. I could get folks to join on my YouTube. Y'all in the book club be real shy and quiet and whatever. Ooh. Okay. Um, Amyra was challenged because she came from a family that seemed to have it together. They had direction and they took no guff. When Amyra was comparing her family to the way that Alex favors Catherine over Briar, I didn't get this. I don't remember getting the sense that her family was particularly accomplished. They seemed like, folks that found their stride and stuck with that and did what they needed to do to provide for the family. Oh, I love when we can connect other books to other books. There was a better way to say that, but that's how I said it. Okay, in Hood Feminism, the book talked about white women stepping in and not being asked to step in. White women feminism always has to play savior. And I think it's interesting because Kiley Reid does paint it out with Alex having this sort of like board of representatives through her via her friends, right? Who are 2 to 3 white women. Is it 3 white women or 2 other white women and 1 black woman? Dang. Me and the minutia of detail is a little struggle bus here, right? But we've have these friends who she turns to, and even in their Tamra, and thank you for Kiley for confirming that I be knowing has magical Negro syndrome, right? So all skin folk ain't kin folk type thing, right? So what we're trying to say here is that they all sort of take on this savior role and feeling like they have the right to remove someone's autonomy, and no one encouraged her to ask of Amyra how she could support her better. No one stopped her and said, "Hey girl, just call her and ask her what she would like. Honor what she would like." All her friends, Tamra especially, because I think in this instance, Alex, being the white woman that she was or is, turns to the black homegirl to validate her bullshit. And all Tamra does is validate her bullshit. Because Tamra thinks she the magical ass Negro. And you know what? The condescension was real. Alex could recognize her privilege, but still weaponize with Kelly's friends and then with Amyra by making her the pet so that she can feel good about her kind of faltering career. I mean, I think Alex definitely has martyrdom syndrome, right? Like, she wants to martyr herself. Like, she wants to have this public, like, if I do something, it has to be very public. It has to be very seen, right? And our favorite word of the day, performative. That's what Alex is. She's a performative person. Um, I do have some questions though about the storyline about Alex in high school with Kelly's friends, right? Because the storyline really, like, Robbie was wrong, right? I think we kind of get a storyline where in the end all the players are wrong, but Robbie is now. Should Robbie have gone to jail? Should Robbie have been arrested? Absolutely not. But if you pull up at my house, I'm not gonna call the cops on you, but I got my gun license, so we just gonna handle it that way on our own. But what I'm saying is, Robbie, like, Robbie pulling up to the house, however he got the code, whether it was, and it was obviously in the end of the book, we find out that Alex, when she put the letter in Kelly's locker, it slid down below to Robbie's locker. Now, Alex is wrong because she decided, and I think this is more of I think there's a way to challenge this narrative too, right? Like, how wrong is Alex in this moment? Because when you go back and watch the author chat, Kiley Reid is discussing how she wrote it that way about Alex realizing that Kelly never read the letter. Kelly never gave it to Robbie, but making it up in her mind in that moment that she was going to hold on to the story that she could create in her head, right? And making it really poignant, but that Kiley Reid, I think maybe there's something to say about the way it was written, because the way Kiley Reid describes it as correlating to how people, the power of perception, and how, you get so far away, you get so much time and space between, why you had a grudge or why you fell out or this tragic or this like pivotal moment in your life, right? Whether it was good or bad, that the story starts to evolve and that the way people tell stories. And it reminded me of this book, What is the What? Up here on my bookshelf, like somewhere right here, which is written by a white man about South Sudan, like the boys from South Sudan escaping. Because I like the fiction book, even though it was written by a white man. But what I'm trying to say is, the book starts off by saying that the way people retell stories is that their stories have to get grander with time. And that's the same thing that Kiley Reid is saying that she wanted to portray through Alex's character. But Alex isn't making, the story doesn't grow over time. Alex made a choice at the moment where the truth was revealed to her. And that seems much more different from, 17 or 15 years transversing, and then the story kind of evolves. Because that's just what time does to stories. Right? But in the context of even knowing all the details, I still think Robbie was wrong, even though he should not have been arrested. And Alex was just, I still think in the context of what happened at the pool and at her house that night, I think there are redeeming elements for Alex in that moment. But when we catch up to present day Alex, a lot of that redemption that you might have felt gets washed away because we just kind of get dropped all these like crazy moments about who she really is at the end. So Nicole is saying, I wanted to discuss that. Robbie was dead wrong. Robbie's ass brought cocaine to her house when she told him, no, don't come to my house. I don't think he should have lost his scholarship over that. I don't think his life should have been over at that point. Oh, we have a guess. Can I add them? I don't know. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, they left. That's why. Oh, there's the guess. But I don't know if they could see me. But I don't think you can see them on the video. Hold on. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, because I think it's because I use another software. I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to log on to Skype and y'all can just call into my Skype. Is that okay? We're going to try that. All right. Because I don't know how to do these. This is something different. Okay, we're going to close out of Chrome. We tried that. The link don't work. We just have to do the Skype thing because I'm a Skype ass bitch. All right. Dang, I didn't even have the Skype person yet. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna do this from my phone because it's much easier. I'm gonna drop this Skype link into everything. Sorry for the long pause. But let's talk about something. Robbie was wrong because he may have seen the letter as an invitation, but he still should have checked in with Alex first. Robbie also should have not been arrested. She should have simply asked him to leave. Or Kelly should have asked him to leave. You know, and I think that's what I do appreciate. Like, you know, maybe it's a little bit of struggle too, though, because you're just like, dag, everyone kind of sucks. So it's not this clean line of this is the bad person and this is the good person. Like, everyone was just like insufferable except for like Amyra and Zara. Because why didn't Kelly ask Robbie to leave? Why didn't Kelly have any gumption? Why was Kelly so pressed to have these white friends? All right, I gotta put in the Skype link. Let me find the book club first. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I think this was definitely a very obvious theme throughout the book, right? That the Mm-mm. Yeah, I think this was definitely a very. I can't even pause my own live video and leave a comment. Like, wow. That's so crazy. Uh, I think this is addressed throughout the book, though. Like, that's kind of clear about his character. Even in the way that, like, you know, Amyra meets him. And Amyra is described in the book as not the type of black woman that Kelly usually goes for. And I think Amyra has some awareness about it, which is why she is so sort of, I'm just testing the waters. I'm going to tap a little bit on this pink dick, give me some good cocktails, some nice meals, and move on with life. Like, she didn't have this huge, like, emotional fallout over Kelly in the book. And it just does feel like she's okay with, you know, it fitting into that space in her life and not needing to go any further. It was public, but I don't know that it was public to Alex. In her mind, it was public. I don't know if Kelly really. I think in the book, it's addressed that kind of like as soon as he gets the opportunity to be friends with the black kids, he just drops her. So it's not that he hit her, but it is that he didn't claim her when it mattered. There was a section where it was discussed that when people found out that they were dating, people would say it made sense that they were. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Let's return back to the syllabus. All right. Kelly ignores Amyra's attempt to brush off how they met by recounting the incident he filmed at Market Depot. What message does this send about the general tone of their relationship, giving specific attention to the racial dynamics between them? Alex feels a surge of jealousy at the Thanksgiving dinner as she watches the interactions between Amyra and Kelly. How does this fit into the overall arc of white feminism as portrayed throughout the novel? And Dad, can we talk a little bit about that scene with Briar, who got sick, and Amyra had to go save her? And like as a toddler, she's like 2, 3 years old, saying, "My mommy doesn't like." What was the line in the book? Was it, "I'm not mommy's favorite"? I just, whatever it was she said, it was really articulate for a toddler to be that aware that her mother is not giving her the attention that she deserves and is instead favoriting another child. That was a very, very touching moment in the book. And it was really like, dag, like, what kind of person do you have to be? I'm sad that we had a person call in, and because I'm not streaming directly from Restream, I couldn't let them really get in there. Dag. Briar, like, that, like, and thinking about, like, how, like, physically sick she got, like, this is a toddler with anxiety. Because she understands that she is not her mother's favorite and that her mother prefers to be with her little sister. A toddler has anxiety to the point where she's throwing up. That is crazy. The story Kelly told is classic white people retelling traumatic stories like it's brunch. Yeah, like particular to this whole narrative around Amyra not wanting that video, even though, and I wonder how many of us throughout Amyra's life, because we live in this age of social media, and I'm wondering maybe if this is my own reaction because I do live online, I am considered a public figure, right? That to me it's like, well, would I share the video? Probably. Would I take up Alex, trying to make me her pet project? Probably. Uh, would I have done the interview and, allowed it? Probably, because, like, I understand, like, how this works and how I can maneuver it. But I also understand why someone who doesn't live in this space, and why, to be honest, like, I really don't want to do what I do, because there's really annoying sides to it, right? There's the negative side to it, the intrusive side to it, right? The traumatic side to this experience, and particular to that experience, it was traumatic for her. And as much as we might be prone to see it as a money grab, right? A way to, like, finesse, right? Because that's how we've been trained. If she sees it as traumatic, and she keeps telling people that it is, maybe she's not using that language, but she's acknowledging how uncomfortable it makes her feel and how she just wants to forget it. Why do these people in her life, these white people, feel like it's their right to own that story? I think Amyra was Kelly's girl version of Robbie, in the sense that he can claim a pseudo-white savior performative political stance through his relationship with someone else who faces adversity at the hands of white people, almost like using a human being to virtue signal and assuage guilt about who you are without actually changing. Whew. Y'all. Y'all. That just brought a thought to my mind, but it correlates to Heavy, and we're going to start the discussions on Heavy next week. But baby, and oh yeah, I'm definitely bringing in men to talk about Heavy, because we're going to drag the folks, all right? So get y'all homeboys to read that book with y'all. But Does anybody want to join via Skype? Hit the link and join, okay? Let's have a chat. We got 15 more minutes of this discussion. Well, I'm gonna go to 8:15, so we have another half hour. But yeah, I think this was also a question that we brought up with Kiley Reid about is like Robbie is Amyra to Kelly what Robbie is to him, and then is she to Alec what Claudette was to her, right? Are these white people just constantly replacing these black people in their life who they can again be white saviors to, but without actually having to like do any work to like help the community? They're just, using the person. Kelly was more invested in throwing a dagger at Alex than really thinking about why is it important to Myra not to disclose how they really met. I feel like Kelly and Alex were both invested in getting back at each other and one-upping each other and claiming that they are the better person and then owning Amyra versus giving her the autonomy that she deserves in these scenarios. Back to the Briar scenario. That is true. She was sitting next to Alex. She was trying to get Alex's attention. Alex kept telling her, yo, chill, I'm talking, like, chill. And then she throws up at the table. And it's Amyra who, like, leaps across the table. And Alex don't even get up to help her own child. Yeah, like, yeah. Especially Briar, her character is written to not seem to understand reality, but she had a very clear understanding of her position in the family. I did think that her character was written like she's a toddler, and toddlers are like your drunk friend who never has any money. So there is this sort of aloofness that is just, natural to a toddler. But she did seem like a very aware child throughout the book, and that kind of really solidified it for me. But even in the fact that she preferred to go to the supermarket and look at nuts versus like play with dolls, and then she had all these questions about what's happening and what's going and who's here, and she kind of understood her position in the family. I think Briar and Zara are my favorite people in the whole book. Briar and Zara. Like, Briar really got at my heartstrings, and I would like to be friends with Zara. We also live in a society that allows us to be innocent bystanders. We can watch, not share, and still spread it by word. I mean, to bring this to the whole video thing with Amyra, right? Even thinking about this recent incident with Aaliyah's face, right? And the security guard in her apartment building, her place of residence, videoing the security tape and then posting it, right? And this sort of way he didn't feel like he was wrong. He refused to take the video down. This way we feel like we just have a right into everyone's lives. Like, I've been much more cautious about when you see random things happening that not recording it, right? If I see someone that's dressed wild or doing something crazy, it's like, you know what? It's not my right to video them. And particularly when I went to Ghana in 2015, if you walk around with your camera, Ghanaian women will smack that shit out your hand. They is not playing with you rolling up and invading their privacy. And it's real because it's like, why do I own the rights to your life? To leak even this piece of you, right? Who am I to be able to share this on the internet? And then the way that like you at your place of work where people live are gonna record them in their place of residence and put it in the internet and not feel wrong about it. We societally, we really need to get it together. 15 years later, like you in your 30s, sis. You like, come on. Come on. I don't think there is a man alive who could show up to my dinner table and make me forget about myself. I ain't even got no kids to think about, but make me forget about like myself. Like that much control. She needs therapy. Mm. All right, let's pull up some more questions. Somebody call it on the Skype. I want to see y'all faces. Ooh, okay. Have we discussed everything from the Thanksgiving dinner? I think we hit Tamara, who was my worst. Kelly, her and Kelly were on the same level. At that point, Alex is still, redeemable, even though the mommy thing was horrible. But it's like, who's spending most time with your child? Who is spending the most time with your child? So and it happens. Sometimes you're in such a state of shock that it's even happening, and that you have a slow reaction. I don't get too beat up over that, but I think with the fact that she was ignoring her child, and then Briar saying that Catherine is mommy's favorite in the end, really makes you go back and be like, "Dad, girl, you fucked up there." Tamara just trying to tell Amyra, like, everyone that night was not giving Amyra any autonomy. Everyone wanted to own her, and that's really frustrating. Okay, but after Thanksgiving, we then have what Alex does with procuring the videotape, getting the videotape out, and then pull it up at old boy's job. Okay? Like, we thought the Thanksgiving dinner was like the height of the drama, but I don't feel like it went down. It like kept a steady tread, right? Because then, Alex walks her happy ass to Reading Station. I hope she got her some good dumplings. There's a good dumpling spot in Reading Station and a good macaroon spot downstairs. So I hope she picked herself some food on the way out. But bitch was worried about the 8 pounds she gained. So okay. But or is it macaroon spot at Suburban Station? But whatever. She walked her happy ass over down to wherever Kelly works at, sat her ass down, and read him his rights. Because after the Thanksgiving dinner, both Kelly and Alex are in this war to decide who can get Amyra to leave the other person. Kelly is insistent that Amyra quits her job, and Alex tries to present herself as a super caring person to inform her that Kelly ain't shit. And I think at this point, Amyra is realizing that Kelly ain't the one. So she's okay to have that, like, okay, I hear you, girl, but I'm not going to give you nothing, but I hear you. But she's a lot more vocal with Kelly about the fact that you can't decide how I live my life. Like, you're not wrong neither, right? You're not wrong about Alex, but, baby, you're not paying my bills, okay? Like, and I would like to have my own life, and I would like to decide how that goes. I think in part, the end of part 3 to part 4, the book became a soap opera. Like, if I'm, I know some people, and most people that read the book and didn't do the Audible, I'm sorry, Nicole narrated shit out of that book. I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, in this tense, hectic time, that book was such a great escape. But I wonder if I had read the ending, I think I would have been a lot more caught up with the white womanness, right? I might not have appreciated the drama of it all, because I would just be disgusted with the white womanness of it all. Like, it was a lot of white womanness. Like, she if you didn't understand that Alex Chamberlain was a white woman, you got it in the ending, okay? Someone saying her phone was locked. Alex was just reading what was on the lock. First of all, can we talk about Amyra being 26 and 20 was this 2015? So I would have been 30. And just putting her phone down while she like, girl, I have you. If anything, your strength is discipline. You leave your whole phone in the foyer someone else's home and don't even, I get not being on your phone, but not keeping your phone on you, girl, you a real special kind of person. Okay? And then Alex just reading the lock screen and being able to see, and then, logging into her email after Amyra uses the computer to print out movie tickets, y'all, and getting the video. It was just like, why this snoop-tasticness of it all? Why? I mean, but you gotta. I get you not into tech, but I also, like, you went to Temple, girl. How you go through 4 years at Temple and you don't understand privacy and, like, people being into your phone? Like, she just a special kind of somebody. Leaving, not properly logging out of her email, Alex seizing the opportunity, sending the video to herself, deleting it. But did you, like, this is what, because the whole time I'm listening to this, I'm like, wait, so did she delete the trash? You know, because you got to delete the trash. You can delete something, still the trash. So you got to empty the trash. Then, wipe the cookies, wipe your browsing history, then do a couple searches after that. And almost could have pulled it off. But Alex is just such a nervous and unsure and insecure person that she had to talk about it the day of the interview with Zara and Amyra in the house. Like, it just don't make no sense. I got the sense that she's not tech illiterate. She just wasn't very much into her phone. But I would, keep why is somebody in this chat typing my name? Like, we know how to spell my name. Thank you. I see you. Hello. It's just, it was, I think, in that moment, any redeeming quality that Alex had was gone. It was wiped away because that was just ignorant. How does Kelly and Alexis, which one of us is actually more racist, speak to this popular discussions of racism, white liberalism, and allyship? I don't think any of us really realized, because of the way the story was written, that Alex, when she went to talk to Kelly, had left Catherine at home until she got back home and realized it herself. And we like, oh, bitch, you are out your God-given mind. And I wonder, is this how white women really think? Was this a peek into their minds? Because I cannot relate. I cannot. When Zara figures out that Alex intentionally leaked the video of Amyra in Market Depot, how does her act, while presumably well-intentioned, speak to an ongoing issue of a loss of autonomy and racial paternalism between black and white women? Word to that chapter in Hood Feminism. Amyra suggests that Alex that she gotta act like you like Briar once in a while. How does this reoccurring issue throughout the novel speak to the larger issue of black women's roles as caretakers for white children? And what else, and where else have you seen this depicted? And I guess this is why people like Christina were like, does this book remind you of The Help? Because this is a reoccurring theme about black women as caretakers, as domestic workers, taking on the genuine labor. And, raising the children emotionally and intimately, besides physically taking care of children. Look at everyone in the comments talking about the help. The help. Oh, absolutely. I think that scene at the beginning of the book with the whole at the conference and breastfeeding, and it's like, for me at the beginning though, I'm like, okay, we know she does things for clout. Can you blame her though? At this point, there's a certain amount of, if they're gonna use your motherhood against you, flip it. But then when you realize that she's not truly invested in both of her children, and that she has preference over the quiet baby versus the precocious toddler, then you're like, oh, bitch, you fucked up. Now, if she was really momming, she was really doing the work of motherhood at home, and at least acting like she liked Briar sometimes, word to Amyra's advice, I think we could give her a little bit more grace, right? And say, okay, the thing where you breastfed on camera wasn't so bad. Oh, it's just me in here. Nobody joined my Skype because y'all are home. Mm. Everyone wants to cuss Alex out. Everyone wants to cuss Alex out for Amyra. I have not watched this interview that Viola Davis did, but I have seen her. I have seen the bylines where about her saying that she regretted doing the movie Help, but I need to watch it to hear what she said altogether. When were the girls lined up by skin complexion? What part of the book was that? No, we haven't addressed it because I don't remember that. Did I skim over that? Like, what was that? In the club. Oh, when they took the picture? I mean, I guess. Maybe it was like I didn't really think, I guess maybe I didn't take it in because it didn't seem like a commentary on the colorism. It seemed like oh, okay, girl, we really doing this today? I mean, that is commentary on colorism, but it didn't seem like oh my gosh, how dare you moment. Maybe that's why I didn't really take it all in. Them club scenes were a lot too. Them club scenes were very vivid because, first of all, the cheap drinks, the progression that Kiley Reid clearly had some fun in her heyday because those scenes were very realistically written. I'm just thinking how much of Alex is racism versus being a manipulative person inherently. I wouldn't describe Alex as racist. I would describe her as manipulative and as, is it, well, I guess because it is a power dynamic. You know? I wouldn't call her a racist though, but I do think what enables her is racism, if that makes sense. You didn't watch the live chat, the author chat with Kiley Reid? Kiley Reid explicitly said that the one thing that she wants to make sure, since Such a Fun Age has been optioned by Lena Waithe, that when the movie happens, that Amyra absolutely needs to be played by a dark-skinned actress. This is what she said in our author chat. You should absolutely go back and watch it. Because she dropped some, the screen does freeze, a little choppy, but she dropped some gems. I think Alex and Kelly as just white people inherently have a bias. Absolutely. I absolutely think they do. What was y'all favorite part of the book? If you didn't really care for the book, what was your least favorite part of the book? And did the ending in Amyra's path in life challenge any of the ways that you view how white, black, or black women should be living their lives? I do think it's interesting how Amyra is painted as sort of like your round the way, dark skinned black girl. And you have these two white characters who both say, let me allow this person into my life because they need to be patronized. You know? Like, what about her appearance? And I guess because both of them like bougie black folks, they black adjacent, black, light skin, baby hair, curly hair. You know how it go. That was interesting. And is that an experience that happens in real time? All right. Look, I hope she does it like the first two seasons of The Chi, not the third. I hope she does it like everything before that little boy shooting the cop and Queen and Slim. Oh man, I hope she does it good too, because the Nicole Lewis did such a great job reading the book that the roots are there to make this a decent film. My favorite part, I think I loved Zara and Amyra's friendship. And I think this is a great book, and I would absolutely let 16 and older read the book because I do think it's a good image of what black girl friends should look like. Right? How understanding Zara was, and also a peek into like the way Amyra's thinking, and like, hopefully would push people to be more communicative about what's actually on their mind. But I absolutely loved everything about Zara. Yes, the Briar and Amyra relationship, because you got to see you kind of were like, okay, what's really Amyra? Are you gonna have a moment? Are you ever gonna speak up? And the fact that she in the end spoke up for Briar was just a beautiful moment. Oh, and she stuck it to Alex. And it was such a corny line. The whole breaking up and like, I don't ever want to see you again line. Like, it was so silly. It was so silly, but like, Amyra finally stood up for herself and landed it, so you couldn't hate it. Oh, I think that moment, because Zara kind of really went like a little ape shit there. That was a little like, ooh, girl, did we have to do all that? But you had every right to Because Zara got lit. Like, fuck you, bitch. I would have also loved more interaction with Zara. I didn't understand what the point of Josepha, am I saying her name correctly? Josepha was. Oh, we didn't talk about this though, because the way she said it's like this montage towards the end of the book where Amyra's thinking about all the things about Kelly and says, she knew something was up even when he said the N word, and we like, bitch, you just let him say the N word, and that wasn't there was not, you just accepted that. Oh, that's what we out here doing? Was the pink dick that good? That y'all let a white boy say nigga? Did he say with the hard R too? Fuck that boy. Yeah, after the birthday, when the relationship really kind of took sail. I mean, for me, the book really stuck for me, the Thanksgiving dinner. I wasn't too intrigued by their interactions, dating wise, and like the sex they were having, and then the dinner, and then like the sort of, because I was like, okay, what's the point of like, are we trying to build up Kelly as a potentially good guy? I got why it was in the book, but I didn't necessarily, for me, that wasn't my favorite part. My favorite part of the book was when we realized Kelly and Alex had a history because I knew this book was about to be messy. Messy. My favorite part was when Zara got Amyra's mind right. Zara helped Amyra see her worth and go forward with her career. She learned to pick her battles. That's what a good ass friend does for you. Well, considering, wondering what Kiley made Kiley want to write a dark skinned main character, you know, it's like, when she's a light skinned. I think, when you understand that you do represent sort of what the white liberals find to be a more desirable type of black. And because Kiley Reid was a nanny to wealthy families, and she probably saw some of this interaction, is it really an interesting story for like the acceptable black girl? The sort of mainstream European spectrum of beauty, the light skin, fine features, curly haired girl to be the main character. We get, and also like if you understand how much that sort of character arc shows up in literature. What was that book that got turned into a movie that I did? The Hate You Give. Even though the character in the book was dark skinned, they made Amandla the character. Was it Amandla who played her in the movie? And it kind of lost it for me. I found her career struggle very relatable. I'm leaving grad school and I'm feeling the fear of being left behind career wise. That's real. But I don't know that. Did Amyra, I think Amyra had that moment at 26 where she felt like she was being left behind. But was she, once we got to her at, in her 30s, did she feel left behind at that point? I feel like she really did identify the fact that she liked working for other people. She liked having, rules and regulations to follow and was fine with that. The news filming was definitely my least favorite part because it was so cringy. It did, I don't want to tone police, but Zara going that far did kind of like, ooh girl, ooh girl, ooh girl, I had to be all that. Is Nicole Beharie considered dark skinned? You know who Nicole Beharie could play? Zara. But Nicole Beharie's a grown ass woman, right? Oh, she would play the shit out of Tamra. Oh, she could cut it good. Yes. I would love to see Nicole Beharie anytime on my screen, though. She fine. I think the ending was validating in that she was able to define her success on her own terms. Though she felt the pressure, she didn't bend to the will of anyone in a real way. I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, this is my comment in the Facebook group, right? When I finished the book, the ending exposing my classism. I think the ending got a good few of us about, because we were like, girl, you making $35K a year. What you doing with? What you doing with your life is? And it's like, wow, how classist. How classist of me. Why does someone have to pursue more money in their career if they're content with living the life that they're living? Everyone's least favorite part is Zara running through that house acting a fool. How long did Amyra actually work for Paula? She said until Paula retired. How long was that really? I got the sense it was like more than 5 years. It was at the 2-year mark, and Paula was like, girl, it's time for you to go on. But Amyra was just a regular Philly chick. And it was a blip in the storyline. Kelly saying the N-word was a passing thought. It wasn't even it wasn't even fleshed out scene. And how is your least favorite part? Oh, that's true. We do. Amyra does see Briar again from afar, and her mother still is not paying her any attention, and it's unfortunate. I wish Amyra could have seen Alex and Kelly at the end. Not just a glimpse, but to prove a point. Alex still did not pay Briar any attention during the Halloween pumpkin picking. Kelly was seen with a new black woman who very much so fit his prototype. These are all very grown folks. I think they need to, because me and Ash aren't me and Ashley Blaine the same age. I think these are good people, but I would like to see a fresh, young Hollywood face, someone in their early 20s. And yeah, so Lovey, I gotta get back to Greenleaf. I stopped on episode 2 because I started watching The Shy, trying to catch up on that. For what? Because season 3 is horrible, girl. Horrible. But I gotta run because I gotta put water. I gotta refill my waters before it's too late. And I'm gonna holler at y'all. Lighters. Okay, let me do this one last comment. Because, there's a delay, so the comments come in later. My least favorite part was when Alex came to the apartment and peeped the bras hanging in the shower and realized that's why Amyra had a jacket on. Like, girl, by Joe. Yo, that apartment scene was cringy. And it's like, let that child live. She's still trying to give her the space to figure herself out. Oh, someone is answering a response from earlier that Amyra didn't really have a complex about her job. She just wanted the benefits and to not expose the truth to her parents, which was she wasted time in college. Did she? She had a skill. I guess it just wasn't. Was it a transferable skill? I don't know. All right. Thank y'all for joining me in both of these live discussions. Thank y'all for reading the book with us. I hope that this provided, a respite because we were really thinking about the fact that, it's been a rough year. And it's August, and it feels like an incredibly long year. It feels incredibly long. It feels like I haven't done enough. It feels like I can't reach for joy. Nothing is satisfying. There's a lot of grief. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of strife. And I really enjoyed having this moment with you guys and being able to just have a break from all the fuckery that we're surrounded with and reading this book. And if this was your first month reading with us, I hope y'all stick around. Because we're going to drag some edges, okay? You see my little notes on here? Yes, sis, we're going to drag the edges, all right? Get it together. So join us and please share our donation drive with your networks. If you got the newsletter, which you absolutely should have, please right-click, save those images, and send them out to your own networks, your church, your job, your colleges. If you know the whites, send it to all of them, okay? Help us raise this money so we can do more work for the community. Okay, it's all for y'all. Thank y'all for joining. We out. Deuces.